Hi there, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and this week we're going to take another look at Ohana Ukuleles. Ohana, a ukulele brand based in California, made in China, with all of the history and attention to detail of an East Coast early 1920s, 30s Martin ukulele. So a big mixing bowl of influences here that make for just a very cool ukulele brand. We've talked about them a lot, actually quite a bit recently, because they're one of the few ukulele brands who have really ploughed ahead with new releases this year, taking some old ideas and tweaking them, just coming out with something completely different to what they've done before. And it's nice to talk about something new. So we're going to look at 6 Ohana ukuleles today. We're going to look at a couple of 8-string ukuleles that have recently arrived, because lots and lots of you have said, Alex, you never feature 8-string ukuleles. Now, the reason for that is because I absolutely hate tuning 8-string ukuleles, especially for a video. You can imagine you've got a really short window to do it, you're tuning and you go, oh, never stays in tune. But once they settle and you hit that sweet spot, that's when the magic happens, and that's what we're going to show you later in the video. The first two ukuleles we're going to look at, though, they are very, very similar ukuleles with one important key difference. And then we've got 2 others that I haven't even mentioned yet. So strap in, let's get ready. The first 2 ukuleles we're going to look at today are the Ohana TK50G and the Ohana TK50. These 2 ukuleles have the exact same spec, but one key difference, which is the finish, the final part, the bit that makes everything shine, or the bit that makes everything sound unique and different. So the TK50G here, that's a solid cedar top with Indian rosewood back and sides, a bit of white mother of pearl trim with some maple bindings, mahogany neck going up to chrome tuners. And then the TK50, the new model, that has the satin finish with the solid cedar top, solid Indian rosewood back and sides, white mother of pearl trim with the maple binding, mahogany neck up to a mahogany faceplate, and the open gear tuners. So the finish is the only key difference here. Now, what does that mean? Well, they obviously look different. A gloss finish makes everything visually pop. You know, it's a bit more aesthetically pleasing, and with the tradition of Hawaiian ukuleles becoming quite ornate as you go up the level, it just makes things look a bit more expensive. Whereas the satin finish here, which actually resembles the Canalea silk finish, it looks like a satin finish that's been buffed back and refinished again and buffed back, and it looks completely mint immaculate, but lived in and smooth to the touch. Now, a satin finish in theory produces a richer, slightly darker sound. The ukulele will sound less new, less bright, have less attack. So when you hit a note, rather than getting a spike in frequencies, you get a smoother, longer response. That's the theory. It doesn't always work out like that. But we're going to compare the TK50 and the TK50G now, and we're going to see what the differences between them are. Next up today, we're going to take another look at a ukulele Ohana released in a small scale last year, but really showed off at NAMM this year. This is the Ohana TK43. The TK43 has a really gorgeous, solid, burled redwood top. The effect of this wood, it kind of has an old growth look to it. It looks like this ukulele has a story to tell before you even play it. Very similar wood redwood to cedar in tone. You get the darker tones, but a lot of attack, very expressive, very transparent sounding. But the burled effect on the top is just gorgeous, and the slightly natural browner colour of the redwood just makes the whole thing look a little bit more American folk. You have the Indian rosewood back inside, same as the 50Gs, with a rope binding on the front and the rosette, and actually a strip on the back as well, and then tied off nicely with really light coloured maple binding for the front and back. You have a gloss neck on Ohana's going up to the open gear gold tuners with black buttons, and then one of my favourite Ohana faceplates is when they do the rope binding. Really lovely ukulele. We have featured this ukulele once last year, but I felt, as many of you have asked me in emails and on social media this week about the difference between the 50G and the 43, this was the perfect time to show them off together. So let's give this TK43 a play and see what you think. Next up today is another new release from Ohana. This is the Ohana Mustang. Whoops, sorry, no, that's Flight. It just looks like the Mustang. This is the Ohana TK7. This is all solid acacia, a really lovely kind of golden stained acacia ukulele with a gloss finish, really gorgeous front abalone binding. Actually, the back is abalone bound as well, which I find quite visually appealing on a ukulele, because normally the binding is on the side, on the back. You don't normally see sort of full back binding that's quite so shiny. Maybe I'm just channeling my inner magpie, but I love how it looks. You have mahogany binding as well on the sides. This ukulele is clearly Ohana's response to the wave of modern, high-end but affordable ukuleles from companies like Flight. When I say it's the Ohana Mustang, I am teasing them lightly, because I think it's great that Ohana are trying to do more instruments that have that modern aesthetic. You know, Ohana, I always say, and I always associate them with tradition, but it's great that they are trying to think outside the box. And this is a great way to think outside the box. This slotted headstock, the kind of slotted headstock that only focuses when I get myself out of the shot, because you can see straight through it, is just so unique. And I'm not really sure if it's designed as a wall hanger, but I love the idea that you could just put like a hook in the wall and your ukulele is resting on it. Really unique design, really strange shape with the it kind of has a throne room vibe to it. It looks like the back of some kind of Game of Thrones throne. Slotted headstock with the open gear tuners. You have a nice, slightly wider 36mm nut width with Ohana's classic sort of C-shaped neck profile. I really like the volute you get on the back of slotted headstocks from Ohana. It has a point where your thumb naturally ends. You also have this Florentine cutaway, so a really sheer sort of 1990s-esque cutaway that you would see on Takamine acoustic guitars back in the day, but incorporated into something really sleek and just works. It flows naturally, it looks cool, it plays cool, and it really does give some of the established ukes out there like the Mustang a run for their money and gives other people choice, so there's nothing wrong with that. Let's give the Ohana TK7 a play and see what you think. Okay, last up today we're going to take a look at two ukes with the same spec but different sizes, the Ohana CK78 and the Ohana TK78. These ukuleles are the same spec but differ in scale length and overall size. They are a solid spruce top with solid mahogany back and sides, a front, I think it's mahogany, a wood rosette, I'm not sure of the specifics, an oven coal fingerboard and bridge with a tiny bit of front plastic black, white, black binding, satin finish, mahogany neck up to a slotted headstock with open gear tuners, and that's the same for both of these ukuleles. So what's the difference? Well, we'll start with the CK78. First of all, you don't really see many concert 8-string ukuleles. The reason being that the shorter scale length makes for a slightly different, more interesting playing experience across multi-string instruments. If you have a small body but you've got lots of strings, the sound you're going to produce is a lot less kind of open. Everything's a little bit more compressed, everything's a bit tighter. You have a slightly shorter scale length, so 15-inch scale length, but pulling 8 strings across. If you imagine, the shorter the scale length, the more violently the strings vibrate when you play them, and you've got strings very close together, so you do have to be a bit more accurate on the CK78. Having said that, I had 2 customers just last week come into the shop to try 8-string tenor ukes that walked out with these, because the sound they produce is gorgeous. You're going to hear that in a moment. The TK78 has the longer scale, so a classic 8-string, classic tenor 17-inch scale length from nut to saddle. You still have the slotted headstock, and the overall balance of this instrument is a bit more what you would expect. One thing to point out, and I'm going to put my salesman hat on for a second, these ukuleles are very, very reasonably priced compared to other 8-strings out there right now. In the last 2 years, I've noticed that the cost of the more affordable laminate 8-strings from brands like Kala has skyrocketed. Somehow, Ohana have managed to keep this ukulele all solid for a similar price to laminate equivalent from other big brands. So bear that in mind. If you are on the hunt or in the market for an 8-string ukulele, these are a really attractive option. By far the highest spec option you can get without going into a completely different price point. So let's give the CK78 and TK78 a play and see what you think. One thing to note with 8-strings, I always find that you get more of a variance with whether you use your fingertip or the pad of your thumb or your finger. I'll give you an example. So this is the kind of pad of my thumb. And then this is me using my fingers. A really different kind of sound. You notice it more on an 8-string than you do on a 4-string. I'll do that on the tenor for you at the end as well. There you have it, folks. We've looked at 6 Ohana ukuleles. What did you think? Are you digging the 8-string, or are you more into the cedar? Did you like the gloss? Did you like the satin? Lots to think about and lots to take away from today's video. If you have any questions, you can call the store on 01202 430 820 or email alex@ukulele.co.uk. As always, be forever grateful if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and let us know your thoughts. I will be back very, very soon. Thank you for watching.